The National Junior College Athletic Association, Region 15, and Queensborough promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Negative comments, profanity, racist, sexist, or other abusive comments or actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the facility. Queensborough thanks you for your support and your cooperation. And now the starting lineup for the Westchester Community College Lady West Coast. Number 22, Sarah Franco. Number 20, Monique Samuels. Number 15, Jessica Negron. Number 1, Nana McKenzie. And number 42, Jaleesa Telford. The assistant coaches for the West Coast, Timothy Jenkins and Greg Finley. The head coach is Leon Payne. And now the starting lineup for your very own Queensborough Community College Lady Tigers. From Francis Lewis High School, number 22, Latasha Harris. From Manhasset High School, number 25, Nyasia Irby. From Far Rockaway High School, number 42, Precious Latham. From Robert Wagner High School, number 35, Sabrina Rodriguez. And from Francis Lewis High School, number 33, Jaclyn Torres. The assistant coaches for the Lady Tigers, David Chambers and Latasha Harris. The head coach is Bob Donato.
Play set to begin between Westchester and Queensborough. The Lady West Coast come in at 14-2, the Lady Tigers at 7-5. These teams met on December 6th. Westchester won 59-34. And Queensborough returned the favor. Queensborough win the white. The starting five: Latasha Harris, Nyasia Irby, Jaclyn Torres, Sabrina Rodriguez, and jumping at half court, number 42, Precious Latham. Opening tip won by QCC. Sabrina Rodriguez with it. Rodriguez averaging 19.4 points per game. Torres airballs a three. He'll go to Westchester. Westchester brings it up. Jessica Negron with it. Steal by Rodriguez. She's averaging 6.6 steals per game. And Rodriguez finishes. First 2 points of the game. QCC up 2-0. And the press has caused a lot of teams problems. It's on the floor. Rodriguez picks it up. Rodriguez pushes it. Misses a layup. Negron with it. Mid-range jumper was missed by Sarah Franco, rebounded by Precious Latham. Sabrina Rodriguez with it. To Irby. To Latham. Torres. Rodriguez with it. Latasha Harris. Thought about shooting, decided not to. Rodriguez down to 7 on the shot clock. Harris, Irby. Shot is blocked out of bounds. Queensborough will have it with 4 on the shot clock. Coach Bob Donato reminding his team that there are 4 seconds on the shot clock. Rodriguez inbounding. Gets it to Irby. Gonna have to put it up. Harris beat the shot clock, but it didn't go in, and then Queensborough comes up with it. Rodriguez with it now. Precious Latham got it to her. Pass went through Latham's hands, tipped. Rodriguez to Irby. It goes out of bounds. Westchester will have it. Jessica Negron with it, leading Westchester in assists, 4.2 a game. Monique Samuels, it rims out. Sarah Franco, too strong. Wild shot by McKenzie was off, but then Jaleesa Tilford was fouled underneath. First foul on Aisha Irby. First free throw is short. Second one is too strong, but Westchester comes away with it. Tilford. Westchester couldn't put it down. Torres. Torres lost it. Monique Samuels with it. Samuels pushes. Tilford. The three-pointer is good. Jessica Negron with the first points of the game for Westchester. She's averaging 11.5 points per game. Nobody was looking for that pass. Negron with it. McKenzie, rebounded by QCC. Latasha Harris with it. Harris was bumped by Samuels. That'll be the first team foul on Westchester. First foul on Monique Samuels. Torres inbounding. Rodriguez with it. Facing his own Precious Latham. Couldn't hit. Had to go look though. Carissa Core brings it up now. Samuels to Core. To Samuels. Back to Core. And then Sarah Franco puts it in for her first points of the game. 5-2, Westchester lead. Tipped, stolen. Shot is too strong, rebounded. Samuels thought about putting up a three, decided against it. Jessica Negron misses. QCC with it. A little over 3.5 minutes in. Torres. Torres with it. And it'll go back to Westchester, another turnover. Queensborough pressing. Negron looking to get it in. It was tipped, but it'll stay with Westchester. Rodriguez got a hand on it. Jessica Negron brings it up. Just cut through the whole defense. Ball's on the ground. Carissa Core with it. Samuels left alone for three. Rebounded by Torres, and now, yes, Torres has it. Rodriguez. Rodriguez, tough angle, couldn't put it in. Rebounded by Latham. Rodriguez, Latham was probably being fouled. Harris passes on a three, gets inside, and traveling is called. Westchester will have it. Queensborough struggling with the half-court offense. They're 2 points for Sabrina Rodriguez layup. On a fast break and a steal. Aisha Irby, the pass was too high from Harris. 15:38 to go in the first half, still 5-2 Westchester. Rodriguez guarding the inbound. Sarah Franco to to Jessica Negron. Monique Samuels with it, 4.5 minutes in. Jessica Negron. Samuels. Core. Three-pointer. Latham rebounds. Rodriguez with it now. Rodriguez pass to Torres for the tie. Hit the shot clock. It'll be Westchester ball. Subs come in for Westchester. 3 new ones. Brittany Marbury, Jangelica Johnson, and Natalia Leonardo. Watch out for number 32, Jangelica Johnson, who leads the team in points and rebounds. Queensborough ball after the turnover. Harris will inbound from in front of the scorer's table. Rodriguez with it. Torres. Marbury is guarding her. Torres off glass. It's a two-pointer. Jaclyn Torres with her first points of the game, and it's 5-4 Westchester. Negron behind the back dribbling. Natalia Leonardo to Marbury. High arcing shot. Rebounded by Torres. Rodriguez with it. Rodriguez cuts through the whole defense underneath. Queensborough leads. Sabrina Rodriguez with 4 points, and QCC leads 6-5. Core behind the back pass. Jangelica Johnson couldn't hit. Precious Latham was pressured. Now Sabrina Rodriguez with it. Rodriguez. They'll go to Westchester. A lot of turnovers early on. 13:59 still left in the first half. Jangelica Johnson with it, guarded by Irby. Brittany Marbury with it. Jessica Negron. Facing a 2-3 defense. Carissa Core. Marbury. Leonardo. Jangelica Johnson. Good defense. Down to 2-1. Marbury beats the shot clock with a three-pointer. Brittany Marbury from downtown. It's now 8-6. Lady West Coast. Rodriguez to Latham to Torres. Torres hits a three. Jaclyn Torres now with 5 points. 9-8 Queensborough. 7 minutes in, 9-8 Queensborough. Westchester looking to take back the lead. Core. Down low, Leonardo to Johnson. Johnson puts Westchester back on top. Her first points of the game. 10-9 Westchester. Rodriguez to Irby. Negron couldn't save it in time. Stepped out of bounds. Queensborough will have it with 22 on the shot clock. Torres from another zip code. It's good. Jaclyn Torres, 8 points. Now 12-10 Queensborough. She's in the zone. Jangelica Johnson threw it away, tried to get it to Marbury, not the crispest of passes. See if Westchester quadruple teams Torres. Here's Torres left alone for three. The gym would have exploded if she hit that one. I think Westchester may have gotten away with one because Torres had a good look as Marbury ties it. May have stolen one, thought the Lady West Coast may have gotten away with the travel. 8 minutes in, it's 12-12. Rodriguez with it. Torres to Irby. To Rodriguez. Rodriguez off glass, couldn't hit. Tip drill. Saved in, Westchester ball. Jangelica Johnson cutting through the defense. Couldn't finish, rebounded by Latham. Sabrina Rodriguez running now. And Rodriguez is fouled. Two-shot foul. First foul on Brittany Marbury. Second team foul for Westchester. Rodriguez hits the first free throw. She has 5 points. All the scoring for Queensborough. 8 from Torres, 5 from Rodriguez. Misses the second one, but it's chased down by Latasha Harris. Rodriguez with it. Precious Latham to Harris. Latasha Harris rebounded by Marbury. Marbury pushes it. Crystal Clark rebounded by Rodriguez. Rodriguez pushing it now. Slows it down. Jaclyn Torres. Bounce pass to Latham on the ground. Latham throws it to Marbury. Marbury chased down by Rodriguez from behind. Put back by Nelia McKenzie. Bob DiNardo calls timeout. With 10:36 to go in the first half, Westchester leads 14-13. It's a 30-second timeout by Coach DiNardo. Now 5 different Lady West Coast have scored. Brittany Marbury leading the way with 5 points. Rodriguez being pressured. Latham inside, off glass, it's good. Precious Latham with her first points of the game. Queensborough leads 15-14. Back and forth first half. Negron. Sarah Franco with it. Jangelica Johnson. Underneath. Got her own rebound. Rebounded by Torres. Sabrina Rodriguez with it. Under 10 minutes to play in the first. Tipped. And a foul is called. First foul on Nelia McKenzie. Team's third. Latham. Jaclyn Torres. Jessica Negron is right on her now. Latasha Harris with it. Kiana Jean Lewis just in the game for Irby. Latasha Harris from downtown. Rebounded by Johnson. Johnson pushes. And then Johnson loses it. Precious Latham comes up with it. Rodriguez. Harris, Sabrina Rodriguez puts up a 3. It's good. Rodriguez now with 8 points. Queensborough leads 18-14. Rodriguez and Torres with 8 apiece. Negron to Johnson to Franco. Good ball movement. Nelia McKenzie couldn't finish. Rebounded by Torres. Latasha Harris with it. Rodriguez. Torres is all alone, but they didn't see her. Kiana Jean Lewis hits. It's 20-14 as Jean Lewis has the first points of the game. And Leon Payne calls a full timeout for Westchester. 8:38 to go in the first. Queensborough leads 20-14. Westchester looking to cut into the 6-point deficit. Facing a 2-3 defense. Samuels. Negron cut inside. Pass was intended for her, but didn't get to her. Negron. Now a foul is called. Foul on Sabrina Rodriguez. Queensborough with it. Rodriguez. It was last touched by Nelia McKenzie, so it'll stay with QCC. Lady Tigers got away with one there. Rodriguez. Latasha Harris to Rodriguez. Tipped. Torres with it. From downtown. Foul. It'll probably be on Latham. It is. That's Latham's first foul. Jessica Negron with it. Negron. Facing the zone. Samuels. McKenzie with it. McKenzie. Shot blocked by Latham. Latasha Harris with it, being pressured and loses it. Samuels left alone, and she hits from downtown. Monique Samuels with her first points of the game. QCC now leads 20-17. And a turnover. Jessica Negron. And Negron is fouled. That'll be a 2-shot foul. Foul was on Jaclyn Torres, her first. Negron misses the first free throw. Negron second on the team in points, leading the team in assists and steals. Misses both free throws. Latham counted Jean Lewis to Rodriguez. Pass was tipped. They'll stay with QCC. 7:17 to go in the first. Harris, Precious Latham. Westchester with it. Jaclyn Torres was playing tight defense. Leonardo. Ball to QCC. 7:02 to go in the first. 2017 Lady Tigers. Rodriguez being pressured by the Lady West Coast. Harris has it go through her hands. Westchester will have it back. Negron. McKenzie to Franco. Leonardo. Rebounded by Torres. Precious Latham, Kiana Jean Lewis. Rodriguez. Rodriguez off glass. Now in double digits with 10 points. 22-17, QCC leads. 6:25 to go in the first half. McKenzie gets it to Franco, to Leonardo. Natalia Leonardo with her first points. It's 22-19. Latasha Harris with it. Kiana Jean Lewis. It's a 2. Kiana Jean Lewis now with 4 points. 24-19. Lady Tigers lead. Nelia McKenzie calls out the play. Jessica Negron with it. Hits a 3. Negron now with 6 points. That was a nice play they ran. 24-22, 5.5 minutes to go. Harris. That's a 2. Missed anyway. McKenzie brings it up. Lady West Coast can tie or take the lead. Franco. Back to McKenzie. Loose ball. Samuels to Franco for the tie. It's good. Franco now with 4 points. 24-24. The difference is the scoring has been, foul is called, a push. Foul on Jessica Negron, her first. Lady West Coast have a more consistent scoring attack. Lady Tigers have been led by Torres and Rodriguez. 18 points by the two of them. Rodriguez. Latham. Rebounded by Core. Core. Out of bounds, it'll go to QCC. Franco got a hand on it, but it whizzed by her. Rodriguez with it. Pass was tipped and stolen. Westchester with numbers. Negron. Foul is called on Rodriguez. That'll be her second. .429 to go. Westchester trying to take back the lead. Hits the first. Now 25-24, Lady West Coast. Splits the free throws. Latham with the rebound to Rodriguez, to Kalena Marshall. Torres. From 3, and she's fouled in the act of shooting. That'll be 3 free throws. That'll be the second foul on Monique Samuels. Taught never to foul a jump shooter. Torres misses the first free throw. Torres hits the second. 25-25. To give QCC the lead. Torres hits. Now with 10 points. 26-25 QCC. 4:15 to go in the first. Carissa Core brings it up for the Lady West Coast. Jangelica Johnson. Good defense, rebounded by Torres. Kalena Marshall, Kiana Jean Lewis. Threw one up. She was surrounded by 3 Westchester players. Carissa Core. Negron. To Core. Core hasn't scored yet. Johnson, now at 4 points. Really back and forth half, 27-26. Lady West Coast. Latham to Kalena Marshall. Nice give and go. Kalena Marshall with her first points of the game. QCC leads 28-27. Another lead change. Now 3:20 to go. Carissa Core. Negron with it. Marbury to Negron. Traveling is called. I was going to say that looked like about 10 steps taken. 3:05 to go in the first. Rodriguez with it. Kiana Jean Lewis to Torres. Sabrina Rodriguez with it. Latham with the putback. Precious Latham now at 4 points. QCC leads 30-27. 2:45 to go. It'll be big for QCC. It would also be big for Westchester if one of these teams was able to go on a run here in the last 2.5 minutes, even though it's been tight throughout. Marbury has it go off her hands. QCC will have it with 2:35 to go. Jaleesa Tilford is back in, number 42 for Westchester. Sarah Franco goes to the bench. Rodriguez, Latham, Kalena Marshall to Torres. Latham. Marbury with the steal. Jessica Negron. Marbury. Nice pass to Tilford. Angelica Johnson makes her move. Off glass, it's good. Angelica Johnson now with 6 points. Rodriguez, under 2 minutes to go, it's 30-29 QCC. Latham to Rodriguez. Tipped, Torres with it, 15 on the shot clock. Down to 12. Lady West Coast will have it after the tie-up. 100 seconds left. Jessica Negron brings it up. Core, Johnson, Tilford. Negron for the lead. It's good. Jessica Negron. Now with 10 points, 32-30. Westchester leads. Lady West Coast with it. Looked like a safety in football. Tilford did, coming away with that. It's one of those passes that's overthrown and intercepted. Core, the lefty, couldn't hit. Now under a minute to play in the first. Torres. Not sure how many lead changes there have been. Probably about 10. Kalena Marshall. That would have given QCC the lead. "15-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Now 30 seconds to go in the first half. Marbury. Negron. Marbury. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Core. She's going to have to put it up. Core. Rodriguez down to 8. Down to 7. 6. 5. Kiana Jean Lewis couldn't tie it up. Rodriguez underneath, and she hit at the buzzer. Sabrina Rodriguez leads QCC with a dozen points, and at halftime we're tied at 32. Beginning of the second half, Lady Tigers and Lady West Coast tied at 32. Lady Tigers will have the ball to begin the second half. Scoring for Queensborough, Kalena Marshall had 2, Kiana Jean Lewis had 4, Precious Latham had 4, Jaclyn Torres had 10, Sabrina Rodriguez had 12. Scoring for Westchester, Nelia McKenzie had 2, Brittany Marbury had 5, Jessica Negron led the way with 10, Monique Samuels with 3, Sarah Franco with 4, Natalia Leonardo with 2, Angelica Johnson had 6 off the bench. Queensborough right now is in a 3-way tie for first place in CUNY. They're tied with Kingsborough and Hostos at 4-1. This won't count in the CUNY standings. They won their last home game. Since then, they lost to Kingsborough by 2 on the road and lost at Nassau by 1. Latham for the lead. No shot. The foul is called. Foul is on Jaleesa Tilford. First team foul, good for Queensborough. 6 seconds into the half and a team foul. That was before the shot, so they inbound. Torres. Harris, left-handed, it's good. Latasha Harris, the lefty, with her first points of the game. 34-32, QCC. Jessica Negron with it. Samuels to Negron. Negron ties the game. Negron now with a dozen points. 34-34, 19:25 to go. Neasia Irby. Rodriguez has to go through her hands. Out of bounds. Westchester will have it. You look back, that'll be the difference. Possessions like that. Lady West Coast looking to take the lead. Sarah Franco with it. Nice pass to McKenzie. McKenzie rebounded by Torres. Rodriguez with it. Neasia Irby. Stripped by Negron. Great defensive play. Lady West Coast have numbers. And McKenzie gives the Lady West Coast the lead. 36-34, 18:50 to go. Queensborough with numbers now. Pass went off of Harris's hands, although she chases it down. Rodriguez. Precious Latham. Latham. Torres with it. 12 on the shot clock. Latham. Out of bounds to Westchester. Negron with it. Franco. Samuels. Franco. Tipped. Negron comes away with it. Tipped. Out of bounds. It'll stay with the Lady West Coast. 18:06 remaining. Samuels. 20 on the shot clock. McKenzie to Samuels for 3. Rebounded by Tilford. Tilford off glass. Jaleesa Tilford with her first points of the game, and Westchester leads 38-34. 17:45 to go, and Rodriguez loses it. McKenzie. McKenzie is fouled. Count the basket. Nelia McKenzie. Bob DiNardo calling for timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Trying to get their attention. Foul on Latasha Harris. 17:40 to go. 40-34 Westchester. Westchester coming out strong in the second half. 8-2 since halftime in the 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Basketball's a game of runs, though. Delia McKenzie will be attempting a free throw when play resumes. You know runs from the other team are going to come. It's how you handle them. McKenzie can't finish the conventional three-point play. 40-34 still. Latasha Harris with it. Torres. Precious Latham. Naisha Irby. Negron blocked it from behind. McKenzie pushing. Franco's shot is good. 6 points on the night for Franco. 42-34, Westchester leads. 17 minutes, 10 seconds remain in the second half. Rodriguez pushes, takes it herself, and then loses it out of bounds. I think she got thrown off. Number 42, Tilford, was in the lane, and Tilford just stood straight up, didn't really make a move. Hey, Marvin. McKenzie, under 17 minutes to play. Franco, Tilford, tipped. Rodriguez with it. Kiana Jean Lewis. Too high off the glass. Rodriguez couldn't finish. McKenzie, who comes away with it. Jessica Negron. Got to be a charge. Good call by the ref. Charge called on Jessica Negron. That's her second foul. Good job from Jaclyn Torres picking up the charge. It's one of those fundamentals that you see a lot of players botch. They're afraid to take the contact, but not Torres. Torres now with it. Stolen. Samuels. Left-handed, just threw up a wild one. Rodriguez, it's a 3-on-1. Kiana Jean Lewis, layup is good. Wild sequence, 42-36. Westchester leads. 4 minutes into the second half. Carissa Core looking for her first points. Negron, Changelica Johnson to Franco. Johnson, shot is short. Latham with it. Sabrina Rodriguez. Pushing it. Torres. She was on fire in the first half, and a foul is called. That'll be on Sarah Franco. That's the first personal foul on Sarah Franco. Third team foul. Torres inbounding. Rodriguez. Latham. Tipped. He'll go to Westchester. 15:30 remaining in the second half. 42-36. Lady West Coast. Carissa Core. Brittany Marbury stepped on the line. Queensborough will have it. Sabrina Rodriguez. Kiana Jean Lewis to Rodriguez. Rodriguez off glass, it's good. Sabrina Rodriguez with 14 points. Lady West Coast now lead 42-38. 15 minutes remain. Negron. Pass was tipped. Negron. Carissa Core looking for her first points, and Core gets them. It's now 44-38, 14:46 to go, and Leon Payne calls a 30-second timeout. Sarah Franco was talking to the trainer during the timeout, or before the timeout, excuse me, number 22 on Westchester. It was 32-32 at the half. Westchester winning this half 12-6. Nine different Lady West Coast players have scored. 6 different Lady Tigers have scored. Inbounding from, it'll be Latasha Harris inbounding. Marbury got a hand on it, out of bounds. QCC will keep it. Torres inbounding now. Torres gets it back. Full court press. Good thing for Queensborough, there's no 10-second violation if they don't get it across half court. Carissa Core came in from behind. Rodriguez in the lane, nice moves off glass, it's good. Sabrina Rodriguez with 16 points. It's now 44-40 Westchester, 14-18 remaining. Carissa Core looking at the 2-3 zone defense. Angelica Johnson to Crystal Clark. Clark looking for her first points. Brittany Marbury down to 10 on the shot clock. Pass was tipped. QCC has it. Rodriguez. Traveling is called. Traveling with 13:54 to go. Lady West Coast have it up by 4. Angelica Johnson to Marbury, to Clark, back to Marbury, to Core, good ball movement, but it's all on the perimeter. Marbury to Johnson, down to 9, 8, 7, Johnson. Leonardo out of bounds to Queensborough. Lady Tigers will have it, 13:26 to go. Sabrina Rodriguez. And traveling is called. Westchester will have it back with 13:22 to go. Again, those possessions with quick turnovers and no shots taken, that'll come back to haunt you. Cora inbounding. That was a quick one. QCC will have it. Torres. Rodriguez. On the floor. Crystal Clark with it. A few turnovers in a row for QCC. Marbury. Pass was intended for Marbury, and that's a backcourt violation. With 12:59 to play, QCC will have it. That was a good call. Torres gets it back. Fake to 3, Kiana Jean Lewis. Shot is rebounded by Johnson. Carissa Core to Johnson. 3-pointer in the corner from Marbury. Long goes out of bounds. QCC will have it with 12:36 remaining. Torres. Now a good possession, quick turnover. Wild sequence. Carissa Core holding it, 12:25 to go. Off glass, Leonardo couldn't hit. Crystal Clark with it, Marbury now. Nice pass inside to Leonardo, but QCC has it. And another steal. This is appalling. Marbury to Core. I mean, there are no real passing lanes, and they're forcing it. Core. That's a wild one. And Rodriguez ahead of the pack. Sabrina Rodriguez with the layup. Now with 18 points. 44-42, Westchester leads. 11 minutes, 40 seconds and counting. Brittany Marbury. Maybe each team, I know there's a rhythm, but you might want to slow it down. When you're just turning it over constantly. Crystal Clark. Marbury gives it back to Clark. Defense chance starts up, out of bounds. It'll stay with Westchester. Shot clock reset. Ref noticed. Now it's at 11. Bob DiNardo brought it to the ref's attention, but the ref was on top of it. These refs have been good tonight. Can't say that for every game this year. Down to 3, down to 2, Negron throws it up. Shot is short, rebounded by Rodriguez. Torres for 3. That would have given Queensborough the lead. And a foul underneath, Kiana Jean-Lewis. Good job getting the rebound. First foul on Natalia Leonardo. Misses the first one. Kiana Jean-Lewis with 6 points, trying to split the free throws. Misses them both. Out of bounds, and QCC will have it. Fortunate bounce. 10:59 to go in the second half. Rodriguez will inbound. And a steal. I don't know how many turnovers there have been. And Negron is fouled by Rodriguez. That's foul number 3 on her. They're just throwing this away. Negron hits the first one. Negron now has 13 points. 45-42 Westchester. Negron's second free throw. She sinks them both, now has 14 points. 46-42, Lady West Coast leading. 10:53 to go. Latasha Harris. Harris puts up a wild one, rebounded by Johnson. Samuels pushing. Negron for 3. It's good. Jessica Negron now with 17 points, and Bob DiNardo calls timeout. With 10 minutes and 33 seconds remaining, Westchester leads 49-42. Good possession by Westchester. You could see Negron had the look and she was going to take it. Negron killing the Lady Tigers with 17 points. Queensborough should be a little happy to be down by 7 right now, considering they have so many turnovers this half. And this isn't the half-court offense either. It's just they get it and then they just try to throw it 50 feet. I mean, there are no passing lanes. Still 10:31 to go. Sabrina Rodriguez has 18 points. That leads all scorers. Jaclyn Torres has added 10. That was the first warning. Need some more energy. Can't allow this one to get away. Have to keep him right here and start getting back into it. That's the difference for each team. Westchester looks at the clock and says 10:31. That's an eternity. Queensborough, you allow a few more points, and all of a sudden that 10:31 seems like that clock is running too fast. Harris, Latasha Harris, guarded by Samuels, dribbles it off her foot. Was last touched by one of the Lady West Coast, though. Sabrina Rodriguez inbounding. Kiana Jean Lewis to Latasha Harris. Negron is on her. Sabrina Rodriguez now. Latasha Harris, Jangelica Johnson in her face. Kiana Jean Lewis to Rodriguez. Top of the key. The three-pointer is good. Sabrina Rodriguez now with 21 points. Westchester leads 49-45. Now under 10 minutes to play. Negron. Franco to Johnson. Samuels to Franco. Tipped. Rodriguez with it. Good defensive possession. Rodriguez cuts through the defense, off glass. Rebounded by Leonardo. Jangelica Johnson now gives it to Negron. Tipped, Franco. Rebounded by Torres. Rodriguez with it. Pushing it. Latasha Harris makes her move. Off glass, it's good. Latasha Harris now at 4 points. 49-47, Westchester leads. 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Negron with 17 points. Samuels down to 13 on the shot clock. Samuels. It was kicked. Put 15 on the shot clock. Kick ball. Samuels inbounding. Leonardo. Jangelica Johnson. A little too strong. Queensborough can tie or take the lead. And a steal, but Negron stepped out. QCC will keep it. 8:21 to go, 49-47 Westchester. Latham, turnaround jumper, air ball. Westchester will have it with 8:14 to go. Negron. Franco with it. Negron. 15 on the shot clock. Leonardo to Franco. Franco couldn't hit. Johnson underneath, off the side of the board. Rodriguez. 7:45 to go. Queensborough can tie or take the lead. Torres has it go through her hands. Westchester gets it back. Sub comes in. Snelia McKenzie, number 1. Number 24, Natalia Leonardo, goes out. Negron to McKenzie. Samuels. Cross court to Negron for 3. That one's long. Latham. Rodriguez with it. Kiana Jean Lewis to Torres for the tie. Foul committed by Negron. Torres can tie the game with 2 free throws. That's the 3rd foul on Jessica Negron. If this goes down to the wire or even overtime, that'll be huge. Remember, 5 when you foul out in college or high school. It's just the NBA with the 6 fouls. Torres hits the first free throw. She now has 11 points. That was the first of the second half. This free throw would tie the game. And she does so. 7-0 run by Queensborough. 7:14 to play, and it's 49-49. McKenzie. Queensborough, they've been the cardiac kids of late. They lost by 2 and they've lost by 1 in their most recent games. Their last few home games, they've been blowing teams out. Steal, Latasha Harris. Queensborough has numbers. Harris takes it herself and is fouled. Negron has her hands on her head. That's going to be her 4th. No, it's not on 15, excuse me. It's on Sarah Franco. It's the 2nd foul on Sarah Franco. 1 more foul against Westchester and Queensborough will be shooting. Latasha Harris gives the Tigers a lead, 50-49. And some subs made because of foul trouble. Latasha Harris at the line. Hits them both. Harris now with 6 points. Queensborough leads 51-49, 6:46 and counting. 9-0 run for the Lady Tigers. McKenzie to Johnson. Johnson for the lead. Too strong. Rebounded by Harris. And then out of bounds to Queensborough. 6:35 to go. Torres to Latasha Harris. Loose ball. Rodriguez with it. Precious Latham. Rodriguez to Latasha Harris. Torres for 3. It's good. Jaclyn Torres now with 15 points. It's 54-49 QCC. 6:05 remaining. McKenzie. 12 points in a row. Tilford to McKenzie. Tipped. Rodriguez. Rodriguez for the layup. It's good. Sabrina Rodriguez now at 23 points. 56-49 Queensborough lead. And Leon Payne calls a full timeout. His Lady West Coast are watching this game fall out of their grasp. 5:52 remaining. And the coach gives a little lesson to Nelia McKenzie. With 10:31 to go, it was 49-42 Lady West Coast. Now with 5:52 to go, all of a sudden it's 56-49. The tables have turned and Queensborough turns a 7-point deficit into a 7-point lead. Sabrina Rodriguez leading the way with 23 points. Jaclyn Torres has added 15. Kiana Jean Lewis and Latasha Harris have 6 apiece. For Westchester, Jessica Negron has 17. Nelia McKenzie has 6. Be interesting to see how Westchester plays the final little less than 6 minutes. See if you get to that part where you have offensive, defensive substitutions. See if they press or play man defense or zone. Also, how will Bob DiNardo handle having a 7-point lead with under 6 minutes to go? Do you run some clock? Carissa Core with it. Bit of a small team for Westchester. Core, McKenzie, Marbury, Leonardo, and Tilford. The 5 out on the court for the Lady West Coast. Leonardo to Core, down to 10 on the shot clock. Core to McKenzie, down to 5. They got to put it up. Marbury, baseline, loses it. Rodriguez, nice bounce pass. Kiana Jean Lewis couldn't finish. 5:14 and counting. Leon Payne telling his team they have to look to attack. Carissa Core with it to Marbury, to Leonardo. Core, baseline, floater, it's good. Carissa Core now with 4 points. 56-51, under 5 minutes to play. Torres, and a steal. Leonardo, loose ball, McKenzie is fouled. McKenzie will go to the line for 2 shots with 4:45 remaining. In for a thrilling ending. And Angelica Johnson is getting ready to check in. McKenzie misses the first. Free throws crucial down the stretch. Tilford is out for Westchester. Misses them both. Rebounded by Latasha Harris. Precious Latham with it. Rodriguez. Kiana Jean Lewis. Sabrina Rodriguez puts it up. Couldn't finish. Rebounded by Johnson. Johnson. Coast to coast. Couldn't finish. And a foul is called. That'll be a 1-and-1 situation. It's the first foul on Angelica Johnson. Kiana Jean Lewis at the line. She has 6 points. 4:25 remaining. Kiana Jean Lewis hits the first one, earned herself a second free throw. Now 57-51. Splits the free throws. Westchester can make it a 1-possession game with the 3-pointer. Marbury left alone. Couldn't hit the 3 though. Queensborough may have gotten away with one there. And then Torres is quadruple teamed, and Westchester comes away with it. See what they call. It's a tie-up. Good job by Torres not to give up on the play. Westchester will have it, alternating possession arrow. 4 minutes, 8 seconds remain. Jessica Negron will inbound. Carissa Core, Negron, Angelica Johnson. Johnson mid-range jumper is way off, and then a foul is called. Torres will go to the line for a 1-and-1 situation with 3:55 remaining. First foul on Carissa Core. Torres with 15 points tonight. Torres makes the first. 58-51 Queensborough lead. Torres splits the free throws. Chased down by Johnson. Carissa Core pushes it up. 58-51, Lady Tigers lead. 3 minutes, 45 seconds and counting remaining. Core, kick out to Marbury for 3. Rebounded by Latham. And then Marbury steals it. Negron. Angelica Johnson, and a tie-up is called. And that will go to Queensborough with 3:32 remaining. Time running out for Westchester. And I agree with Leon Payne's strategy of pressing in the situation, whatever that counts for, whatever it's worth, but I do agree with the press. Can't just allow Queensborough to run the clock. And traveling is called on Rodriguez. The more possessions there are, the more that favors the team that's trailing. Gives them more of a chance to get back in the game. Negron with it. 3:18 to go. And a foul is called. With 3:13 to go. Non-shooting foul. That's the 4th foul on Sabrina Rodriguez. One more and she's done. McKenzie couldn't hit, rebounded by Rodriguez. I imagine they have to slow it down here. That's one of the things the press does. It doesn't allow you to slow it down. Tipped out of bounds. We'll stay with Queensborough with exactly 3 minutes remaining. Really don't want Rodriguez to foul out if you're Queensborough. Rodriguez with 23 points. And she's inbounding right now. Torres. And she's fouled. Foul by Negron. That's going to be number 4 on Negron. That's the second time Torres will shoot 3 free throws. Torres hits the first. She now has 17 points, 59-51 QCC. Torres misses the second. Queensborough won a 17-2 run. Torres hits, now has 18. 60-51, 2:55 to go. If she hit all those free throws, it would have been a double-digit lead. Franco batted away. Rodriguez out of bounds. Queensborough will have it with 2:43 to go. Bob DiNardo calls out the play. Thought it was interesting, the two who went for that ball were Rodriguez, and it's thrown out of bounds. With 2:41 to go. Inexcusable, really. It was interesting, the two who went to chase down that loose ball were Rodriguez and Negron, both who have 4 fouls. Would have been interesting if there was a collision. Negron. Harris rebounds. And Rodriguez is, she was aware, has 4 fouls. Rodriguez with it. Have to pull it out. Rodriguez down to 15. Latasha Harris, and this is Smart holding it. Latham wasn't a good shot, but it did run 26 seconds off the clock. 2 minutes, 7 seconds remaining. 60-51 Queensborough. Negron, see if she takes a pull-up 3. She does not. Nice pass to Franco, and Franco can't finish. Kiana Jean Lewis to Latham, to Torres, and wisely pulls it up. Rodriguez, Latham off glass, it's good. Precious Latham now with 6 points. Queensborough leads 62-51, 95 seconds to go. Negron. Time running out. Samuels puts up a 3 and it's good. Monique Samuels now with 6 points. It's 62-54 with 1:24 to go. That was a 20-2 run by Queensborough before that 3 by Samuels. Now with 84 seconds to go. You also wonder where you get to the point where I believe they're going to pressure the inbounds. It also gets to a point I'm always reminded of the 2008 National Championship game, Kansas-Memphis, where Memphis had a 9-point lead with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go, and Bill Self started fouling the Memphis players, and they were missing free throws, and that's what got them back in the game. You never know if it's too early to foul. 1:24 isn't that much time. I think they're going to guard the inbound, and then they're going to press, because you see some teams who don't even bother to guard the inbounds, and then they just allow it in and foul. I never agreed with that. That was a big three by Samuels. I don't know if they'd have a chance to come back if she didn't just drain that three. Torres and the Lady West Coast press. Rodriguez with it. Torres. So they get it across half court. Torres dribbling. Negron on her. Latham with it. Latham underneath off glass. It's good. Precious Latham with 8 points. Queensborough up 64-54. Now under a minute to play. McKenzie to Negron. They have to start shooting. Core puts it up. Friendly roll. Core now with 6 points. 64-56. 45 seconds to go. And why don't they foul? And Harris puts it up. Out of bounds. We'll stay with Queensborough. Ill-advised shot there. Bob DiNardo all the way at the end. 40.5 seconds to go. 21 on the shot clock. I mean, why take a shot 8 or 9 seconds into the shot clock right now? And what are they waiting for? I mean, they're not fouling. They don't have time. They don't have this luxury. They have to foul. It's not going to work. I mean, time is running out. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And traveling is called. That's frustrating, but I mean, and Leon Payne, the Westchester coach, gives his team a talking to. I mean, even so, you're down by 8 and you only have 22 and 8-10 seconds to do something. I think they should have fouled or at least double teamed somebody. Samuels gonna have to put it up, and she does, and it's an air ball. Franco couldn't chase it down, and Queensborough will have it back with 15 seconds to go. Harris, oh, they caught the defense by surprise. Almost threw it away. Precious Latham hits the layup. Precious Latham will finish the game in double digits. 66-56. Negron at the buzzer, and Queensborough wins. The big key was a 20-2 run that turned a 7-point deficit into an 11-point lead. And Queensborough wins 66-56. This is QCC student David Russell. Again, Queensborough wins by 10.